All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Now today we are going to use the derivative to help us find the equation of line tangent, which is one of the key principal ideas that we do in calculus, being able to find the slope and use that in a number of ways. And one of the biggest ways that it's used is finding the equation of the line tangent. So here we go. So first of all, I want to point out that we are going to be sticking with the point slope form of a line, which is this guy right here. So if I was you, I would definitely copy that guy down. Y1 and X1 are going to be numerical values for the X and the Y, and the M is going to be the slope, like we all know. We are not going to do anything else further with that line once we get our answers, like we're not going to add values over. We're going to leave it simply in that form. So the three things you are going to be looking for are going to be the X value, the slope, and the Y value. You're going to be looking for those three things, and you're just going to plug them in. So there's two kinds of problems that we're going to be looking at. The first kind is when I give you information, like I have here, where it says find the equation, line tangent, blah, blah, blah. You can read the rest. And you just kind of put the information in the correct spot. The second kind of problem, a little bit longer of a process, you'll have to do some work with finding the derivative. Okay, so let's start off with checking this guy out. Now, the X value is going to be 2, so you're going to put that guy is going to be the X1. Now, notice that the 2 is there and the 2 is there. Those numbers are the same. That's the values you need. You need the F2, you need the F prime of 2. Now, if they tell you F of 2 equals 10, what they're telling you is that's the Y value. And if they're telling you the slope, that the F prime of 2 equals -4, they're telling you the slope. So F prime gives you the slope, F gives you the Y value. And then we're just going to plug in at that point. So you'll say Y minus 10 equals -4 parenthesis X minus 2. And that's all you need to do so far. So before you stop the video and try to do the homework, you'll be confused after the second example. So hang on. Here's another one, very similar. If you want to pause real quick and then try to work it out. Okay, so here's the X1 value. That's the value for the function, so that's the Y value. And over here, the derivative is the slope. So Y minus -5 equals 2 times X minus 1/3. And then, you can make that Y plus 5. There is nothing else to do. You do not need to distribute. You do not need to subtract the 5. Leave it like that. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you now that if you make this Y equal, if you distribute and minus the 5, when I look at your quiz, I will take points off. This is not what I want is this form. There, that was the closest I have to being angry about this right now. All right, moving on. So those are pretty easy. When I just give you the function, however, notice in the first two examples, I never mentioned what the function was at all. I just kind of started doing stuff. But here, if I give you, oops, I'm messing around with stuff. I broke the internet. Okay, that looks, everything's set right. Okay, so now I give you the function, and we have to find the equation of line tangent. The only value you have is the X value. So you have the X value. That's great. So we have to find the Y value, and then we have to find also the slope. Now, in order to keep things simple, I like to find the Y value first because it's pretty easy. The Y value is just what you get from plugging the value in. It's 3 because that's the X value. So you go 3 squared minus 1, and that makes 8. So the Y value we will be looking for, Y1, is going to equal 8. All right, now we have to find the slope. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. Now, last week, we did this guy right on down here. Do you remember what he's called? That's right, the difference quotient. We need to do the difference quotient to the function to get the derivative, and then I'll show you how we get the slope from there. So just a little recap from last week. You're going to go f prime of x. That's going to be the limit as h goes to 0 of, let's see, now it's f of x plus h, so that means x plus h is going in x's location in the function. All right, I'm going to put a parenthesis around that, minus f of x, which is x squared minus 1, all over h. So it's algebra time. We got to take care of that. All right, so let me give myself a little bit more room. So then this guy is going to equal. Let's keep the limit here because we haven't done it yet. We have to do some stuff out. We're going to square that x plus h out. Now when you do that, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 1, then minus x squared plus 1, because this minus sign would change both sides there. And this is all over h. Now by looking at this, I'm going to change colors to kind of not confuse people. You see that the x squares are going to subtract each other away. The minus 1 and the plus 1 will also take each other out. All right, so let me rewrite what I have left before I go any further. So we have the limit as h goes to 0 of 2xh plus h squared over h. Now this h will divide out both of these h's there and there a little bit. So bang, bang, and that just takes off the power. So we have 2x plus h, and when you evaluate that limit as h goes to 0, this should just equal 2x. All right, so what's that give me? That's the derivative. So let me give myself just a little bit more room here. All right, so then that tells me that f prime of x equals 2x. And now what was the x value way up here at the beginning? It was 3. That y value was 8. So f prime of 3 then is going to equal 2 times 3, which is 6. So then your equation is y minus 8 equals 6, x minus 3. There's the y value, there's the slope, there's the x value. There's my equation of the line. Bang. Don't do anything else with it. All right. Bam! All right. Now I got a little bit of a different thing going on here. So we have the x value. Let's do the easy work here. Let's get the y value first. So the y value is just going to plug 5 into that. So what's the square root of 2 times 5 minus 1? Well, that's going to be square root of 9, so that's going to be 3. All right. That's the easy part. Now comes time for the fun part. And if you're thinking that I'm strange because I think this is fun, guess what? I think this is fun. Oh boy. Oh boy, we have radicals. Now, this 2 is going to distribute to the x plus h. I'm going to do that. I'm going to multiply through by the conjugate. Remember, so you're going to use the conjugate. And I've done this enough that I am going to skip a step here. And some of you are going to hate that. Well, guess what? You got to get used to it. Because when you go off to college, oh, by the way, I'll just make note of what the conjugate is going to be. 2x plus 2h minus 1. That's all I need, the radical, plus 2x minus 1. All right. So when I multiply that to the top, when you go off to college, like I was saying, your professors are not going to be so nice. There's going to be a lot of times when you're going to have work that you're going to be left to explain it on your own. You're going to need to know how to do algebra, damn it. All right, jingle bell, jingle bell. It'll be like my singing. Again, if you do need help, though, with this conjugate, as mean as I sound, ask me when we do the weekly meets on Thursday, and I'll go over it with you. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did that right. Okay, so now looking at the numerator, I'm just looking to cut some work out here. The 2x's are going to subtract. The 1's are going to subtract. So that all of a sudden, after those things cancel away, you'll be looking at 2h on the numerator. That's all that's left. Oh, that's so sweet. Now the bottom has got that h. Oh, I already know those h's are going to cross off. That's so good. I wish I could get rid of this watermark right there. Oh my God, the FedEx man just pulled in my driveway. This is the most exciting thing ever. Yeah, my dogs are going crazy. Now you all know that too. Let's see, the h's cancel. All right, and as h goes to 0, I'm just going to get ahead. Here, you're going to have a 2 on top. And if that's going to 0, you have the square root of 2x minus 1 with another square root of 2x minus 1. So that makes 2 of them. Like that. Oh, wait, those 2's can cancel too. So then I have that looking like that. So there's my derivative. There's my slope. Now plug in the x value, which was 5, into that right there. So then f prime of 5 is going to equal 1 over, let's see, the square root of 2 times 5 minus 1, which is going to equal 1/3. Okay, that's 1/3. Now that's a slope. Now let's put everything in. What were the other numbers? The y value was 3, the x value was 5. So then, let's see here. Y minus, 3 equal 1/3 x minus 5. There it is, equation number 1. So like last week, the hardest part will be the algebra, actually, not the calculus. Just use the difference quotient to find the slope if needed. I had another example planned, but I'm going to put a pause on that, and I think we're good for here. All right. Where's my thing to make this stop? The